Thank you for joining Fireside Chat with Zondra. As you can see, I've got 4 of my most close friends that decided to spend the afternoon with me, where we're going to be talking about dating in the new millennium. I'd like to introduce you to my very good friends that are here.
My name is Yvonne Bacon. I am a lifestyle strategist. I help women 40 and over navigate their lives during transition.
Thank you so much for being here, Yvonne.
Hi, my name is Nola Parker, and I'm a 6-time published author of bullying books, and I advocate against childhood bullying.
Thank you, Nola.
Hello, I am Tennille Baskin, and I am in accounting, and I'm also an author.
Very good. Thank you, Tennille.
Hi, I'm Kanika Walters. I am an anti-money laundering investigator at a financial institution.
Thank you, Kanika. I'm so glad you guys could join me. This is going to be a ton of fun. So, I'm just going to kick it right off talking about this dating in the new millennium, because I happen to be single, and I'm like, what is this thing about all this social media and internet dating? And I'm like, what do? You got Match.com, you got Black Planet, you got all these things. And so I really want y'all to weigh in on this whole dating thing. So tell me about this social media dating. How does that affect you as single women?
Well, I'll just chime in right here. In response to that, the social media, to me, I'm going to speak for the old school ladies, the ones that still believe in chivalry, the ones that still believe, that there's some men out there that are bold and secure enough, to kind of connect with us women that are that know our worth and have our own thing going on. I think the social media, it kind of takes that dynamic from that connection. I believe we're losing that connection in that social media realm. And so I'm not a big supporter of the social dating. I've experienced it, but for me, it hasn't gone well. And I think it's just because I have a certain expectation. And that expectation is a gentleman who's bold enough and who is secure enough to say, hey, I wanna find her. You know what I mean? And so therefore, social dating, when I went in, it was more so of let me just try it out. Let me just see if it works for me, because you hear your friends and you hear other people's experiences and how, it worked for them. I found my husband on Match. I found my husband on eHarmony, and you want to see if it works for you. But I think when you're a child of God and when you understand that He has a plan for you and that His word works, I believe that when He says he who finds a good wife will find favor. So I just take on that He will find me. So I'm kind of not into the social media, but it is what it is.
Okay, that's good. So as you were talking, I was thinking about, so how many grocery stores have you met somebody in?
Good question. 0. 0. And I get that, but I'm one of those ones that still, I have hope. I have hope in the old way of doing things. And I know in this time where everything is on the internet, everything is on Twitter, everything is on Facebook, that, you're more apt to find somebody that way. But I'm just more of a hopeful kind of person.
Yeah, nothing wrong with being old school, because I'm old school too, because I'm like, can I meet somebody at the grocery store, at the car wash, or, maybe even at a restaurant. But, I find that because of social media, I find that males and females no longer really know how to have a fruitful conversation. And so even introducing yourself to someone these days becomes very challenging. People don't have that social skill. And so you sit there and they looking at you, you looking at them like, I ain't saying well, can I text you? If I text you, maybe I can say something to you. So it's really, really, really different. So thank you so much, Tennille, for that perspective. I would like to just talk about just this whole shift. And who on this couch has had some experience with POF? Oh, raise your hand in the air, because I done been on POF myself. All right, I'm like, who is this joker? Okay, so I'd like to know your experience, not just with POF. This is not a POF thing, but it sounds like you've got some experience with dating sites. Yeah. Talk to me about these dating sites, because I can tell you, this sister, that's not what was on the picture. That wasn't what I seen on the picture. So y'all tell me about this, Nola.
Well, to piggyback a little bit on what Tennille said, you know, it's the social media. It's almost like you're forced to kind of go into social media dating, because with our active lifestyles and things like that. So it's almost like we're forced to do it. But there's no, it's almost like they get to be someone that they're really not on social media. Like, you're not meeting the real person per se when you're just reading a profile, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then you don't even know if that person looks like this when you actually do meet them. So it's almost like you're taking a chance at meeting someone who is betraying themselves to be what they think society or women in society would want them to be. You get what I'm saying?
Yes,
that
absolutely.
Makes sense.
Makes good sense.
Now, me, myself, I've not been on POF. However, I was on Black People Meet. Yes, I was on there one time, and I did meet someone very nice. After a while, I didn't like him no more, though. You know, it was short-lived. It was short-lived because we were different. He was a Christian, a deacon, and trustee at church, and yeah. But after that, I just went ahead and got off the site. As Nola was saying, they can create a profile, and you know, already been on the dating scene, you don't trust them very much. So I think that profile and the dating, online dating, that's not good for me, because I already don't trust you anyway, okay? So now that second level of profile and all that, I gotta get through all that. I don't wanna, no. I want to meet you and talk to you, create that conversation. I don't want you to hide. I don't want you to create a profile. I want to meet you, wherever that is. Maybe it's at Discount Tires.
I think we should use it as a tool instead of looking at the person that we meet as our forever. Let's just meet up and be friends and use it as that tool. And if it goes further and we like them, then fine. But if not, let's move on. I think it's just an easy way to be able to cut things off easily. You know, if I meet you in person and we have a conversation and we go on a few dates and then we don't work out, then, you know, there's a breakup there. But online, you can meet somebody, have a couple of conversations, get to know them for a few weeks or maybe a few months, and then decide if you want to move forward. And then it's easier to separate or make that break.
But life is not easy.
So then it sounds like, you know, because and if you just think about people getting together, getting apart, I'm not with you anymore. It sounds like to me, and you were talking about trust. So it sounds like to me it's all this whole trust factor and believing that it really is what it is. And by the way, if it ain't, you know, snap, I'm done, and I ain't wasted no gas. I ain't went out there and paid no solo meal. You know, none of that has to happen. Is that what I hear you saying? It's just a tool by which to meet people in the comforts of your own home. Because I think that's one of the things, you know, people want to meet in the comforts of their own home. And I have a business that's called Real Talk with Zondra, and it's actually a webinar business where you could have a conference in the comfort of your own home. So trying to meet the demand of people being in their own home and really making stuff happen. Okay, but I want to get down to the nitty gritty of PO. You know, these, I don't want to call it, I just want to call it dating sites. Because see, I'm just going to tell y'all, I've been on dating sites and I have talked to people and tried to weed them through. Mm-hmm. And then you get there and boy, if that joker don't have on some ashy shoes and hair look like, I'm like, wait a minute. So you go back through and scroll and go like, this is not what I saw. Mm-hmm. How many of y'all have experienced that?
It's happened.
More than once, one time.
And more than once. And you have to not look at that person for what's right there. You want to kind of look a little bit deeper. Okay, is this something that I can change? Let's stop being so superficial about the clothes that he has on and the shoes that he wears. What does the heart say? Can I work with that?
Welcome to Presidential Business Center, where we give your business a professional image. Let me show you around. We have office space available to accommodate 1 to 20 people. And look at this amazing conference room. Wouldn't you like to have your meetings in here? We have various office spaces to meet your business needs, like this one. Need a little break? Let me show you into our break room. We have complimentary beverages available. Enjoy coffee with your guests. Wouldn't you want to be in this office with this amazing view? Come on, let's check out somewhere else. Need a change of scenery? We have multiple common areas to meet with your guests. We even have part-time offices available as well. But let me show you something really grand. Even this office could be yours. Come see me soon. Presidential Business Center, Addison, Texas.
Okay, so now you're actually introducing something totally different, because you're saying that none of that really matters, because we always do what, and I totally agree, we judge a book by its cover. So now you're saying that it's a tool, and that we actually leverage that tool, but we get there and have to go ahead and just be like, it ain't what it appeared to be. You want to go on down deep and just start talking to someone, and if they have the heart and the passion and all of that, then it may be like I could work with that.
You can change shoes.
I just threw out those shoes, Kanika. Now I just threw out the shoes only because I'm gonna tell you right now, my first date experience on from a dating site, I said, what in the world? What in the world you got on? Girl, some Florishams, do they even make them anymore? No, I don't know, just saying. I was like, I don't know, where you get these shoes from? It just is what it is, but you do want to know somebody internally. And I think that's a good concept that we're saying right now, is that never judge a book by its cover, but really just go ahead and get to know the person.
I have met some individuals. Okay, we're talking about POF. So I've met some individuals on POF, and then once I get to that phone call stage and I'm talking to him, I'm like, this guy is a butthole. Like, you can tell that his perspective on different things, and it doesn't match with the profile. You were this way and this way, but when I talk to you, you're bashing people in your past, or different things like that. So it's kind of like I said, it gives you POF and any other social media platform. It just gives you this means of not being yourself. But then when you talk to the person, then you see like, oh, no, I don't want to talk to him no more. Mm-mm. Mm-hmm.
So it is a talking thing. So you communicate online, and then it becomes a talking thing. It's social media in general. It's not just about, dating sites. It's social media in its entirety, that you could be out there and be a very attractive and nice looking woman, and you'll start to have almost that social media stalking where people, oh, you're so gorgeous. Oh, you're so beautiful. And then the next thing is gonna be something. I mean, just tell me about social media in general, and how do you finesse that when people start to maybe talk to you in a way that is like, I know this is more than saying that my live video was good. What's your experience with that?
Well, for me, talking with him, we talked about a month on social media, and then we met for dinner, and all of that was very good. And then it was around near the holidays, and I received a Christmas card. Now, I haven't told you where I live, okay? I received a Christmas card, and so he had called me, and we were talking, and he says, did you get your card? And I said, oh, yes, thank you so much. How sweet. I said, but how did you get my address? He says, remember you gave it to me. I said, no. I did not give you my address. And he started laughing. He says, oh, I did a little searching. That it scared me a little bit because I thought, wow. Now tell me how you searched that, and he did. And so I searched and I thought of some names and I was like, this is for real, and so that was a little scary. The online dating, I just can't get with it. I'm like Tennille. I want some conversation and I want you in the raw. I don't want you to be hiding or behind this or that, so.
So then I really respect that. I respect that approach. And yeah, it is kind of scary, right? Because people can literally Google search you. I mean, I was, thinking about my whole, contact information, even with my business. And I was like, I can't really put on here, somebody been put it, come on through. I was like, no, you have to be much more discreet than you have been in the past because there's so much access to internet to be able to figure out things. But I love you and Tennille's perspective from the standpoint of, the old-fashioned way, because I'm a little old-fashioned too. I would just really like to meet you somewhere. I really don't want to do, but that's just like everything I didn't want to do on social media. And now I find myself on social media having to do these things. And so for me, it's like, wow. I mean, I gotta stay in with the times, but by the same token, I'm a little bit old-fashioned. In fact, old-fashioned with a little modern twist. That's what I always say about myself. That's who I am. So I love y'all's perspective, Tennille and Yvonne. But here's what I want to ask you. With that perspective, what's your game plan? Do you got a strategic plan? Because how is this really going to plan out? Other than, and I know, because see, the Most High, I trust. Yes. I really do trust God. And so for me, I know that you trust in God. But it's almost like anything else. I tell people all the time, we can be faithful and be trusting, but we also have to have action because faith without works is dead. And so we can have all the faith in the world that we want. But my question is, I know where you're going, but what's your action plan? Because you still have to have some action because otherwise that ain't nothing gonna happen because I bet that joker ain't gonna come knock on this front door and be like,
but
you know what? You're the one.
But you know what? My God could make it available that the mailman can come. However, I do have a plan.
I got laugh at you right now. I got laugh at you right now. Here it comes.
My plan is to show up. See, because I've gotten comfortable in the social media, not necessarily the online. My business is online. I'm online all the time. So I've gotten comfortable at home. Business, conference, webinars, I'm comfortable. So I have to show up. Wherever show up, whatever show up means, I have to show up because he could be there. So that's my plan. Again, I've gotten comfortable in my long pajamas and made up from here, waist to top. I have to show up.
Now, I really do like that perspective because what that's saying is that even in this era of all social media and internet, everything, that we can become very, very comfortable in the confines of our own home and miss the opportunity of human interaction.
We can go to church online. We can do everything online.
That's true. That is so true.
So we got to show up. Wherever and whatever show up is.
I love that.
I love that.
I love that. Show up and like she was saying, be open. Be open, like you said, not necessarily always being at home, but be open to going to a cafe. If you love coffee, go, take your computer. Go grab coffee, tea. You know what I mean? And in that, operate in your field. You know, not trying to sound all spiritual, but when Boaz found Ruth, she was in the field. She was doing her thing, you know, and he was observing from afar. And so that's, you know, therefore, I believe, you know, when you position yourself for him to find you, and that can be in the field of what you do. If you're coaching, if you're doing what you do and you're doing it well, that draws that person to say, oh, yeah, you know, that's her. You know what I mean? And then I just think positioning yourself, you can attract the right person. Mm-hmm. So I've just learned how to be open because I am a homebody. I have to say, give me a good movie. Wings, Lord, I love Wings, Jesus. I love Wings. He's going to have to help me in that area. But give me a good movie and Wings, and I'm good. Yeah. But I had to learn how to be open. You know, go to a cooking class. You know, I want to be able to cook for my husband. So why not do that while I have the opportunity? You know, I don't have anything distracting. I don't have anything pulling me back. I can go to a cooking class here. I can travel. You know what I mean? So what are you doing with the time that you have? Invest in you. Invest in you in the meantime and in the between time. And while you're investing in you, that confidence, it also draws. Because I think a man has this kind of detector to know if you're in a vulnerable state. You know, when you're in that state where you're like, okay, she's a little weak, so let me pray on that. And you know, and you'll get that good church one. They know, you know what I mean? And they not all churchy. You'll find out they don't love God. They just love, you know, you know, and so, but they'll pray on that. And you know what I mean? But at the same time, when you invest in you, when you are confident and your poise is the way it needs to be, you'll attract the right person.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that, and I love how you talk about investing in you, because you know, if there's anybody that believe in that, y'all already know. Go ahead, shake your head. You know, the power of investing in you. You know, there's so much power, and I think we leave that power on the table a lot of times, because we will not just eagerly say, I am investing in myself. I'm going to be who I can be, and I'm gonna present the world with the true, authentic me. I mean, when you really start to do that, and it's okay not to know everything. We just sat on this, you know, here this afternoon between friends, and we've talked about things that I think probably turned on some light bulbs for all of us, just to start thinking about how do we literally, you know, start to maybe serve our energy in a different way. So pretty amazing. Kanika, you over here, come on. Tell me something, Kanika.
Okay, so to expound on what she was saying about being available, I think that is a very big thing in dating. A lot of us are not available. We're not available to anyone else. Our heart is not available because we're stuck in the past, holding on to somebody else that we loved long ago. We're not available because we're scared. A lot of us have social anxiety. We're just not available. So I think that being available will help us in this single life.
That's awesome.
But why would you say we're scared?
I'll speak personally.
That's what this is about. Did you not know we was talking about? Where was you at?
Me personally, I will say, just dealing with my past and learning to let those things go will scare you. You know, you'll see some habits, you'll see some things that are familiar. Oh, I've been there before, I've done that before, I've heard that before. And so that'll tend to make you want to clam up and not be available.
You're absolutely right, because I'm going to tell you, I just had a conversation with you last evening, Yvonne, when we were talking, and I was like, you know, if something good comes in your path, you almost feel like, you know, if you've had some other things that ain't quite right, you're like, okay, you know, they all start off telling, oh, you're so,
Yeah.
They all start out like that. But then look like something goes awry. And so I know what you mean about being kind of saying, you know, I done heard that before. You know, I used to say, oh, you know, if you're beautiful, you're beautiful. Now I'm like, oh, tell me something else. Come on now. Yeah, let's go with something else, because that doesn't really move me. What moves me is the content of your discussion and the content of your character. You know, but then I've been out here a long time. You know, you're still a youngin'. Appreciate you. I'm being honest. But you know, I'm just saying, I've been at this thing a long time, so it's just kind of interesting. But I think that all of you have brought such a wonderful, wonderful perspective to this conversation today. So I would like to ask each of you, you know, as we get close to finishing, what are the pros and cons of social media dating? And I'll start with you, Kanika.
My pro would be it's just a tool to meet. It's just a tool to meet. That's all we should use it for. Expect
That's a
nothing
pro?
more.
Okay.
That's a pro.
What's the con?
The con is you're able to create an image of yourself that may not be true.
Okay, very good. And what about you, Tennille?
I would say the pro would be it's easily accessible. You know, it's from the comfort of your home where you can meet people, and like she was saying, you can connect with people, not in a way that I would want to connect with people, but you can connect with people. And con, just like I said, is it takes the connection that I really want to get from a person when I first meet them. And so that's the con for me. I would rather it be real and it be face to face, so I can see in his eyes and I can see what's true, what's not, and be able to go from there.
Love it. No.
I think a pro is definitely you get to meet a lot of people from all around the world, abroad and everything. But the con is, again, you're meeting people who have the opportunity to be someone that they're not. So once you get to talk to that individual, then you'll know for sure if there's someone you want to talk to.
Yeah. Thanks, Noah.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I don't like it.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
you
there's
can't
no
give me no pro, huh?
Yeah, there's no
She
pro.
came over here from the Southwest
There's no
region of
pro.
the United States, and you ain't got a pro and a con?
No,
on
there's
now.
no pro. At the con, you know, we have to break down barriers already when we meet someone. So all this, no. It's not for me.
We
so I don't
appreciate
want to
you
waste
being
any
here.
time.
I appreciate you being here and talking to me about that. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, that's perfectly fine. So you know what? I think that there are pros and cons, and I'm gonna tell you, I got some pros and cons. So I'm just gonna tell you what mine are. You know, I think it is absolutely a pro to do a little screening, because I don't. You know, people are just not who they say they are, and it's a dangerous game. Because if you go out too soon with someone that you meet online, you know, it's dangerous. And so I think it's a pro to be able to sit in the comforts of your own home and actually, you know, kind of weed through somebody and get to know them for a while and take some time before you even get to talk to them on the phone. And then if the conversation matches kind of what that profile says, then it's absolutely worth it to then take gas at $2 and something a gallon and go and meet someone, you know, in a location. You know, I would say that if you're doing any type of, you know, social media type dating or internet dating, you know, you should never let them come to your home, you know, and pick you up. It's a neutral zone for everything. It's neutral on the internet. It's neutral when you meet in person. So I think you guys had some very good pros, and of course my con is, you know, I'm over 50. So, you know, when people show up, that was your high school picture? Was that your high school picture? What picture was this? Because this is not a match, it's a mismatch. So that has been a thing for me. Not that I care about what you look like on the outside, but to thine own self be true. You know, this is who I am today, and this is what I present today. Don't present, you know, something that is all dated. So that's my con to the whole thing. I'd be like, I've been ordering everything on the menu. No, I'm just kidding. I like to eat. But at any rate, I mean, that's my con to it. But this has been like just, I don't know, I don't have words to explain the conversation that we've had today. I love your transparency and your perspective on this topic matter. So Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And thank you for joining us for Fireside Chat with Zondra. As I always say, be the best you. Peace.